Good afternoon. Welcome to Toy Fair University. Next up, we have How Licensing Can Grow Your Business with Stu Seltzer.
Thank you. All right, welcome everybody. It is my honor to be here at Toy Fair, and we're going to talk about licensing and how you can grow your business using a licensing strategy. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, it means you haven't seen the show. There is so much licensing at this show, it's unbelievable. And I'm going to show you a number of case studies. Just to get a sense as who's in the audience, how many people here are licensees? You're manufacturers, you're perhaps looking to license in a brand. How many? Okay. And how many are brand owners? You own a brand, maybe you want to license it out to somebody else. And how many people are, would you call support people, lawyers, accountants, agents, all right? And any others, I know the press is here, which is great, and some inventors are here, it's fantastic. All right, so I'm going to run you through a couple of slides, but really leave here where you should know the benefits of licensing, of how licensing can really add value to your business. Here's my background. I've been in the industry since '91 when I got a job at Yves Saint Laurent in fashion and was licensing out that brand and learned about the whole world of licensing. And then did a number of years at Warner Brothers on the Batman brand, where we spent a lot of time at the Toy Fair in the 90s. And then for the past 27 years, working at Seltzer Licensing Group, a agency we started representing a lot of corporate brands, food brands, entertainment brands, and so forth. Two other key things. One, I was honored last year to be inducted into the International Licensing Hall of Fame. But more importantly, I've been teaching a class at NYU for the past 21 years on brand licensing. It's a full 15-week class, full semester, 3 hours a week, and you have the benefit of all that information wrapped into a 20-minute seminar. And it's great because we bring all our students to Toy Fair for an assignment. All right, so that's me. Here's a little look at what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about some theory, talk about some case studies, and I'm going to leave you with a couple of principles of licensing. So here's my first theory slide. The first slide, the students at NYU see on the first day of class. And it basically tries to answer the question, why does licensing even work? And the goal of all licensing, the goal of all marketing, this is your basic marketing 101 pyramid. And your goal of all marketing is to get your customers and move up the pyramid. Become they try it out, and then they like it, and then they love it, and they become, your brand apostles. They love your brand. And not only that, they become fans of your brand. And once they're fans of your brand, that's when they're going to buy other products and services with your brand on it. And that's true whether it's they go to the Batman movie and they love Batman, they decide they're going to buy a Batman lunchbox, or they buy that New York Yankee jersey, or perhaps a Mac branded toy truck here, which is a client of ours. So this is how those deals work. You have a company, I'll tell you the story. It's a company, this guy Bob, he makes t-shirts, and he's just selling basic black t-shirts. But he's looking to grow his company, and he heard about this thing called licensing. And because of that, he met some people at Warner Brothers and heard they have some popular brands, and he decided to license in the Batman brand, which is owned by Warner Brothers, and create this Batman t-shirt. So the Batman company, that's your licensor, that's Warner Brothers, and then your licensee is the t-shirt company. And he licenses the brand, puts it on the t-shirt, brings it to the market, has tremendous sales, and they all live happily ever after. So that's, in a nutshell, how the licensing game works. Now you might ask, why do companies even want to license? I mean, Warner Brothers is a big company. Why don't they do it themselves? Why can't they just make their own Bat toys and Batmobile toys? So there's three key questions that the big companies go through. Number one, is there a big enough opportunity? Is toys a big business? The answer is yes. Number two is it relevant to the brand? Is Batman brand relevant to toys? And the answer is yes. Third is, do we have the capability to make toys? Warner Brothers is a great Hollywood studio. They don't know how to make the toys. So now they have a choice. They could do it themselves, but they don't really know how. And here's what they do. They license it out. So in that example, again, you know, the factors, is it relevant to the brand? Yes. Is it big enough market opportunity? Yes. Do we have the capability? No. That's why we're going to license out this Batmobile to Mattel. They are the experts in toy. And they will be able to take this product, make it, ship it, design it, market it, and have tremendous success. So that's how it works. All right, here's a quick quiz. On this piece of paper here, I have the top 20 licensors, the biggest licensors on this page. Can anybody here name one that is on this page? Yes. Disney, and I have it, and I didn't rig you ahead, but Disney is the biggest. They're number one. Ever since this list was created by Licensed Global Magazine, Disney has been number one. Even before they bought Marvel in the early 2000s, even before they bought Lucas, they've been number one. Here's some of the other entertainment brands on this list, and you've seen them all at this show. Just walk at the Thai booth or Jazzware or Hasbro, they're all here. Some of the others in our industry include some fashion brands from Authentic Brand Group and WHP, Anne Klein, Isaac Mizrahi. Others in this include some corporate brands. So just to give you a sense, I see people taking pictures. Whoever wants a copy of this presentation, I'm going to do a door prize because I have the book. I think, I can't remember if I shared, I wrote a book last year with Stephen Extra called Brand Licensing for Dummies. We're going to raffle some of these off at the end. And Rich and Nikki and our team are going to collect business cards, and everybody can get a presentation along with a chance to win this book. All right, so that list of 150 companies, brands, this is how they come out. Most of them are entertainment. And that's why most of what you see here are entertainment toys with those brands. But there's a lot of corporate brands, including food brands, some fashion brands, sport brands, and so forth. But just to give you a sense of how this market works. All right, now I'm going to also show you one other slide. For these brand owners, what is the number one reason they are in the business? The number one reason is revenue. They are in it for money. You see that. But the big reveal on this research that was done, when they asked 150 companies, why are you licensing? The big reveal was that it wasn't the majority. It's only 45%. The majority were things beyond brand awareness, brand extension. So what's fascinating is that, yes, these big companies, Warner Brothers, Disney, they want the money, but there are other things just as important, such as the brand awareness. So you licensees in the audience, as you're thinking about, all right, how do I pitch this? There are other things that are important to them beyond the money. So important to keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to share a video to show you the power of licensing. And this is a video, a very short video, to show you, again, the power of some of these brands. So here you go.
First, we asked 3- and 4-year-olds to choose between a cupcake with the American flag and one with a familiar cartoon character.
This cupcake or this cupcake?
Mm.
You think it tastes better than this one?
Yeah,
Why do you like that one better?
because it's Spider-Man.
Almost all the kids picked a character over the red, white, and blue. So we upped the ante. We asked these preschoolers to choose between a cupcake and a banana. This time we recruited Scooby and Shrek to pitch the fruit.
There's banana.
Most went with what Shrek and company seemed to endorse.
So here, I'm here to share that maybe licensing is the answer to childhood obesity, right? Here's a second part of that.
Finally, to see just how far these characters could sway kids, we asked what would they rather have for breakfast, a banana or a rock? We decorated the rock this time.
Which would you rather have for breakfast? For breakfast.
This one.
For breakfast.
This one.
An overwhelming majority went straight for the rock.
Yeah, and that's a Dateline show, but it just shows you the power of some of these kids' brands. All right, so let's talk about licensing. Why do these companies even license? There's a few reasons. The first is to boost sales. And I added some pictures from around the show here. If you've seen the puzzle booth of Ravensburg, they have some nice puzzles. But if you ask them what their top seller is right now, this is what they told me. Bluey, with the license, adds a spike to their sales. The other reason people are licensing is really to enhance their credibility. So here is a teddy bear from Gund, and they did a deal in the 1960s with a brand to enhance their credibility that their bear was better than anybody else's. Anybody want to take a guess? What license did they take that spiked their sales, took them to new heights? They've had this license for 40, 50 years. What license? Winnie the Pooh, very good. You know your toy business. Okay, exactly. So you can imagine the sales you get with the license, adding the credibility, not just a teddy bear, it's the Winnie the Pooh bear. And third, that licensing can help reach a new demographic. So here is a Yahtzee, Hasbro selling your basic Yahtzee, but you know, I've seen that around forever. But if you want to reach the really young kids, you might need to go after, or the college kids, maybe go after a college brand like The Office. So here is an Office edition of Yahtzee. So different reasons why people are licensing. All right, I'm going to now shift and share what I call the 3 principles of licensing. And again, all of this I write about in this book, which we're going to raffle off a few of these books later. And number 1 is that licensing can make a good product great. The other side is it can't make a bad product good, but it can make a good product great. One example here is Lego. Lego, as you know, is a fantastic product. But did you know that in the late 1990s, early 2000s, they were struggling? They never had a license. Their first license ever in Star Wars was in 2002. And before that, they were nowhere near as big as they are now. But they took a license that made their product great. You know, they went from having a good product to an unbelievable lineup of products. Just visit their booth. You'd think they've been doing that forever, but they haven't. Only since 2002. Next, and this is the picture of the outside, if you look at what they're doing now with Star Wars. Number 2 is licensing. Oh, this I wanted to share. This is historic. Last year, this is from last year, that this is the first time in the 75-year history of Mattel and Hasbro. First time ever 2 companies worked together. I just thought that was memorable to share. And they worked together. How did they work together? They worked together on a licensing deal. So I thought that was really interesting. And again, it makes Monopoly even better with the hot brand of Barbie. All right, second thing I wanted to share, the second principle is that licensing can be your competitive, sustainable advantage. Now, when I was in school, in business school, they talk about, you read a book called Competitive Advantage by Michael Porter, the famous Harvard Business School professor who wrote the book. And you learn that in business, the goal of business is to come up with your competitive advantage and hang on to it. That is the goal, and that's why all these patents and trademarks are so important. I'm here to share that having a license can be your competitive advantage, can be your sustainable competitive advantage. Here's an example. Right now, the Star Wars toys are done by Hasbro, and if you want to see, it's an amazing history. Started with Kenner Toys, that was then acquired by Hasbro, but they are the exclusive maker of all the Star Wars toys and action figures. They've had this, again, since the 70s. They're coming up on their 50-year anniversary of Star Wars, 50-year anniversary of Hasbro toys. So this has been a tremendous competitive advantage to them. And again, just visit their booth. You could see the hundreds and hundreds of toys that they have. Another interesting angle here is that Lincoln Logs. If you've seen the Lincoln Logs, they're at the Basic Fun booth. Thank you. So Lincoln Logs is at Basic Fun. However, the brand is owned by Hasbro. But Basic Fun has it. And for them, it's a nice competitive advantage. They've done unbelievable things with that brand, and Hasbro licensed that out. So there's more to talk about for that as a strategy that's starting to really take hold in this industry. So third principle is that, just to share, that all licensing is risky. There are risks. You're making a minimum guarantee. I passed out a worksheet to everybody, and we can talk about that later after, but I wanted to share that. I've done longer seminars. I'm doing a 1-hour seminar at Kidscreen. I did one at CES where you really walk through what are the deal points. And so I'm sharing that along with our top 10 do's and don'ts for licensees and licensors from the book. But the key point is that licensing is risky. And it's important to take risks and to manage those risks. And again, not taking a risk is a risk. Not taking a license is a risk. And we see that all over. There are some companies that have stayed away from licensing, and it's actually hurt them. But in the licensing arena, on some of our clients, we work with the Magnum ice cream company, and they've done all these mini toys that were risky at first. People thought, oh my gosh, is that a toy? Does that work with our product? It's been a great success. And another example is with our client, Scott's Lawn and Garden, Scott's Miracle Grow. We have a company here, Red Toolbox, that's doing the push lawnmower. It's not just a push lawnmower. There's been push lawnmowers forever. This one is the Scott's push lawnmower that blows bubbles and squirts water, and there's a real Scott's lawnmower sold at Home Depot, and you can, mow the lawn like your dad right next to him. So again, licensing is risky, and we advise working with consultants, with agents, getting some expertise, because there are some serious risks that you need to be aware of. This is one of those products that from the Red Toolbox, just when they hit it, they were just showing it, and here it is on display at Costco, which is a lot of fun when you see a product really make it and get their opportunity to sell. I wanted to share this. I'm not going to click on it, but this is a URL code. We do recaps, and we've done a 2-minute recap of the trade shows that we go to. This, if you were to click on that, would take you to a 3-minute recap of last year's Toy Fair. This year's recap will be out by probably Friday, but in it, it really focuses on about 10 to 20 licensed products that really caught our attention. So that might be interesting for you to see. And if you're there, you'll see we have about 50 recaps from all the trade shows that we go to. So we have about 2 minutes left, and I'm going to share with you just some of the key best practices. Number one, I call it the 4 Ps of licensing, not the 4 Ps of marketing, but the 4 Ps of licensing. Number one is to come up with a plan. It's important that you take your time, do the research, come up with a plan of how you're going to use licensing to grow your business. Number two is to find the best partners. Find the right partner for you. It might not be Disney. Disney is a great partner, but maybe it's not for everybody. Maybe it's too expensive. But there are partners for everybody out there. And finding that right partner is key. Number three is come up with how you're going to measure success. Is it on top-line sales? Is it on profitability? Is it on opening up new sales, new channels of distribution? Whatever that is, come back every 6 months and measure. And then finally, again, a way to accelerate your own success is consider having some agents help you. So I'm going to end with a video, which is a little satire of what is the most popular brand licensed property in the country, in the world probably. And then right after that, I'm going to call the door prize if you want to. We're going to raffle off a few of these books. And then I'm going to stand on the outside there if anybody has any questions, because I know we're going to end in a minute. So here's my little final video.
But Yogurt, what is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made. Spaceballs the t-shirt. Spaceballs the coloring book. Spaceballs the lunchbox. Spaceballs the breakfast cereal. Spaceballs the flamethrower. The kids love this one.
All right, so thank you all. I'm going to stand over there if you have any questions. Thank you.